Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In the ever-twisting world of the young and the restless, new faces often bring new storms, and that couldn't be truer for Mitch Bacall and Sienna Bacall. On the surface, they appear to be two enigmatic figures who entered the canvas under mysterious circumstances, but behind their poised exteriors lies a tangled web of secrets, lies, and unexpected connections that stretch all the way to Genoa City. As fans know, every stranger in Los Angeles seems to have some tie to someone back in Wisconsin, and as the lines blur between both cities, the question becomes, will Mitch and Sienna remain in the City of Angels, or will the drama pull them east to Genoa City, where destiny and danger await? Mitch and Sienna currently reside in Los Angeles, their lives orbiting around a glamorous, smoky underworld filled with secrets, shadowy deals, and people who wear too many masks to count. But their connection to Noah Newman and Holden Novak might just be the bridge that pulls them into the orbit of Genoa City's most powerful families. Viewers know that whenever the Newmans or the Abbotts become involved with outsiders, chaos soon follows. And with the fallout from Noah's mysterious accident and the re-emergence of Holden's tangled past, there's no question that these two new players could soon find themselves swept into the heart of Genoa City's storm. The threads first began to unravel when Sharon and Nick Newman were summoned to the Los Angeles hospital to collect their late son's belongings. The grief in Sharon's eyes was unbearable, the pain raw and unfiltered, as she held Noah's phone in her trembling hands. But then, just as Nick was about to power it off, the device began to ring. An incoming call from a woman named Sienna. That one ring became the catalyst for everything that followed. Nick's instinct told him to answer, to grasp at any remaining trace of his son. Sienna's voice, however, was elusive, cool, and evasive, too calm for someone supposedly mourning the same man. Her cryptic words and abrupt hang-up left Nick with more questions than answers. Who was she to Noah? And why did she seem terrified to talk? Meanwhile, Detective Burrow, a smooth-talking officer with a knack for deception, made his presence known. Matt Cohen's portrayal brought a calculated intensity to the role, a man with one foot in the law and the other in something much darker. Burrow's questioning of Sharon and Nick was oddly hollow, as if he were gathering information for someone else rather than solving a case. Later, when he was caught whispering into his phone, murmuring to a man named Mitch, the truth began to glimmer through the cracks. Noah's death wasn't an accident, and Mitch Bacall, whoever he was, might be the key. In Los Angeles, Holden Novak has been taking Claire Newman under his wing, showing her pieces of his past, some tender, others better left buried. The pair's chemistry has been undeniable, and their scenes together shimmer with both vulnerability and danger. When Holden brought Claire to a dimly lit nightclub owned by Sienna Bacall, the energy shifted. Sienna, played with sly elegance, immediately exuded that trademark soap opera mix of charm and threat. Her interactions with Holden were filled with subtext, the kind of tension that suggests a shared history filled with betrayal. Claire, to her credit, kept her composure, but Sienna's subtle digs about Audra Charles clearly got under her skin. The look in Claire's eyes said it all. She was intrigued but wary. And why shouldn't she be? Holden's time in California is turning out to be far more complicated than anyone expected. Whatever he was involved in while living there, it's something that's bound to follow him, and the consequences may soon spill into Genoa City. If Claire continues her relationship with Holden, she may find herself dragged into the murky waters he's tried to escape. And if Sharon, Nick, or even Victor Newman uncover that Holden's past entangles with Noah's death, the entire Newman family could turn on him in a heartbeat. The addition of Roger Howarth Mitch, Tamara Braun Sienna, and Matt Cohen Burrow to Y&R's cast lineup feels deliberate, signaling a new chapter rich with intrigue and noir undertones. The question that fans are now asking is, are Mitch and Sienna here for a limited arc? Or will they become permanent fixtures, the next generation of manipulators and power players? Given how quickly they've become intertwined with the Newman saga, it's hard to imagine them staying in the shadows for long. Interestingly, their emergence coincides with Chance Chancellor's departure and Damian Kane's mysterious disappearance. Both men were key figures in law enforcement and crime subplots, and their absences have left a vacuum that someone has to fill. Enter Detective Burrow and Mitch Bacall. Burrow may act as the new face of law and order in Genoa City, Or more intriguingly, the wolf in sheep's clothing. As for Mitch, his connection to Burroughs suggests he's no stranger to shady dealings, but with Roger Howarth's knack for portraying complex antiheroes, viewers might soon find themselves sympathizing with him against their better judgment. Mitch's story is already poised to collide with Sharon's. As Sharon continues her independent investigation into Noah's death, she'll inevitably stumble across a series of clues that point toward Mitch's involvement, directly or indirectly. Their paths will cross, perhaps violently at first, but what if Mitch isn't her enemy? What if he's the one person who can tell her the truth? Sharon's compassion often blinds her to danger, and her drive to uncover the truth could easily place her in harm's way. Mitch might become her reluctant ally, drawn to her vulnerability and determination, even as his own past threatens to destroy them both. Meanwhile, life in Genoa City continues, and Kyle Abbott remains one of its most restless residents. Michael Mealer's Kyle has been spinning in circles, a devoted father to Harrison yet a man haunted by his own impulsive mistakes. As Halloween arrives, Kyle's storyline offers a brief reprieve from the tension in Los Angeles. Harrison's whimsical costume plans are chaotic, yet heartwarming. Kyle will do anything to see his son smile, even if it means parading around in a ridiculous ensemble. But beneath the laughter and candy-coated surface, Harrison's innocent admission that he misses Claire adds another layer of sadness. The boy's longing mirrors the complex emotions brewing in the adults around him. Claire, far away in Los Angeles, is navigating her own awakening. Her bond with Holden is growing stronger, and according to spoilers, she'll reveal a side of herself that fans have never seen: confident, daring, and maybe even reckless. As they attend a Halloween event at Sienna's club, the Shadow Room, the tension simmers. Costumes, music, and champagne make the night electric, but beneath the glamour, secrets are ready to explode. Holden's past with Sienna, his guilt over Noah, and his attraction to Claire will all collide in a single evening of temptation and truth. Sharon, meanwhile, will push deeper into her investigation, refusing to let her son's death be dismissed as an accident. Her intuition has always been her greatest weapon, and her greatest weakness. She'll start connecting dots between Detective Burroughs' strange behavior, Mitch's name in Noah's contact list, and a series of payments made to a Los Angeles private account. It won't be long before Sharon realizes she's being watched. Someone will break into her home, leaving behind a single message scrawled on her mirror: "Stop digging." But Sharon Newman doesn't stop. Ever. As the stakes rise, Mitch will finally make his on-screen debut. His first scenes will show him in an abandoned warehouse, talking on the phone with Sienna about the Newman situation. His tone is calm but laced with guilt. A man who didn't mean for things to go this far but can't turn back now. Later, he'll cross paths with Sharon under tense circumstances. She'll recognize his voice immediately from one of the recordings she's found, and the confrontation will be electric. The air between them will crackle with danger and recognition. Sharon will demand answers. Mitch will warn her that some truths are better left buried. But when Sharon refuses to back down, he'll make a choice that changes everything, saving her from an ambush meant to silence her for good. That act of protection could redefine Mitch entirely. Could he be both villain and savior? And will Sienna, who's been quietly pulling strings behind the scenes, let him betray their plans? The Bacalls are clearly not just nightclub owners. They're power players tied to something bigger, something that stretches far beyond Noah's accident. If they end up in Genoa City, it won't be as visitors. It'll be as storm bringers. As winter approaches Wisconsin, the atmosphere in the young and the restless grows darker, colder, and more cinematic. The Los Angeles arc, steeped in mystery, betrayal, and forbidden attraction, feels like the calm before a storm that's headed straight for Genoa City. When Mitch and Sienna inevitably make the move, they'll bring with them the kind of high-stakes storytelling that shakes up families, ruins reputations, and births new alliances. For now, Los Angeles remains their playground, but Genoa City is their destiny. And when these two finally arrive, they won't come quietly. They'll bring every secret, every lie, and every ounce of danger they've been hiding in the shadows. The only question that remains is, will Genoa City ever be the same again once the Bacalls make it their home? The question of whether Mitch and Sienna Bacall will remain in Los Angeles or relocate to Genoa City is no longer just speculative. It has evolved into a central plotline that could redefine the entire Newman saga. With Los Angeles as the backdrop, their presence has already stirred a cocktail of intrigue, attraction, and suspicion. But the narrative threads are tugging inexorably toward Wisconsin, as every secret held in the City of Angels has an almost magnetic pull toward Genoa City, where the stakes are higher, the consequences sharper, and the ties to the Newman dynasty more inescapable. The first spark of this potential relocation came in the wake of Noah Newman's tragic accident, which had left the Newman family reeling. The hospital in Los Angeles became the stage for a chain of interactions that would ripple through both cities. Nick and Sharon Newman, grappling with grief that was still raw, encountered Sienna indirectly through Noah's smartphone. Each evasive answer, each abrupt hang-up, compounded the tension. Nick's suspicion grew by the day. Sienna's refusal to clarify her role in Noah's life only heightened the sense that Los Angeles held answers the Newmans desperately needed. Answers that might only be revealed if she and Mitch entered their world in Genoa City. Meanwhile, Detective Burroughs' investigation added another layer of uncertainty. Matt Cohen's portrayal of Burrough blurred the line between law enforcement and covert operative. The man was always one step ahead, quietly reporting to unseen players and keeping tabs on the Newman family's every move. His conversation with Mitch on the phone hinted at deeper connections, suggesting that Mitch was far from a passive observer. Burroughs' presence implicitly warned that Mitch and Sienna were entangled in matters bigger than anyone realized, matters that would eventually affect Genoa City's most powerful families. In Los Angeles, Holden Novak's involvement with Claire Newman served as a counterpoint to the tension surrounding the Bacalls. Their relationship, delicate yet charged with possibility, was complicated by Holden's own history, a past with shadows stretching from the West Coast back to the Midwest. As Holden guided Claire through Los Angeles, taking her to landmarks like his former home and Sienna's nightclub, the layered drama became palpable. Sienna's subtle provocations and patronizing remarks toward Audra Charles weren't merely personal attacks. They were strategic, designed to test Claire's reactions, to gauge whether she could be manipulated or persuaded. Claire's curiosity, coupled with her inherent caution, made her a prime player in the unfolding dynamic. She was learning, perhaps too quickly, that Los Angeles was not just a city of lights and glamour. It was a city of secrets that could follow her home to Genoa City. Sienna's nightclub, the Shadow Room, became a nexus for the narrative. The space, drenched in dim lighting and pulsating music, mirrored the murky undertones of her character. Every interaction there, from the playful teasing of patrons to the pointed exchanges with Holden, was meticulously choreographed to reveal layers of her personality. Sienna was more than a nightclub owner. She was a strategist, a manipulator, and perhaps even a protector, though to what end remained unclear. For Claire, the experience was enlightening. She saw firsthand the duality of human nature, the way charm and danger could coexist in a single glance. And for the audience, these moments set the stage for the Bacalls' eventual move to Genoa City. The storyline in Los Angeles began to converge with Genoa City, when minor characters like Chance Chancellor and Damian Kane were quietly removed from the canvas. Their exits, though subtle, created a void in the narrative, a vacuum that Mitch, Sienna, and Burrough seemed poised to fill. With the GC Police Department currently understaffed, Burrough could easily assume a role that placed him in direct conflict or collaboration with Genoa City's most prominent figures. Simultaneously, Mitch and Sienna could exploit these gaps to establish themselves as pivotal players, manipulating events both from Los Angeles and eventually, on the ground in Wisconsin. Halloween served as a thematic bridge between the two cities, blending the vibrancy of Los Angeles with the traditions of Genoa City. Kyle Abbott, with his whimsical commitment to Harrison's costume plans, offered viewers a glimpse of normalcy amidst the chaos. The father-son dynamic provided a humanizing counterpoint to the intrigue swirling around Sienna and Mitch. Yet even in the midst of candy, costumes, and laughter, the shadow of Claire's absence loomed. Harrison's longing for his friend reflected a broader tension. Relationships and lives in Genoa City were increasingly intertwined with those in Los Angeles. The connections forged on the West Coast had real consequences for the families in Wisconsin, creating a narrative inevitability. Mitch and Sienna's path would ultimately lead east. Roger Howarth's debut as Mitch was particularly impactful. His first appearances, marked by quiet intensity, showcased a man burdened by past decisions yet capable of decisive action. Mitch's ability to protect Sharon during a threatening encounter highlighted his duality, He was both enigmatic and morally complex, capable of both danger and redemption. His connection to Siena added another layer, suggesting that any decision to move to Genoa City would be mutually beneficial, allowing the Bacalls to consolidate power while simultaneously protecting their own interests. Sharon Newman's investigative arc further accelerated the potential relocation plot. Her relentless pursuit of the truth regarding Noah's accident placed her in direct opposition to those who wished to keep secrets buried. Each clue she uncovered pointed toward Los Angeles, toward Mitch and Siena, and toward the possibility that answers could only be obtained if the Bacalls themselves were present in Genoa City. Her encounters with Burrow and Mitch blurred the lines between ally and adversary, creating a sense of suspense that left viewers questioning every motive. Sharon's unwavering determination made her a magnet for danger, and Mitch's potential alliance with her hinted at narrative twists that could reverberate through both cities. The romantic entanglements only deepened the stakes. Holden and Claire's growing closeness was juxtaposed against Siena's manipulations and Mitch's shadowy interventions. In Los Angeles, Claire began revealing facets of her personality previously unseen: confident, daring, and inquisitive. These revelations suggested that her experiences with the Bacalls would have lasting consequences, shaping her decisions upon returning to Genoa City. Holden's past, however, threatened to destabilize this budding romance. Any move by the Bacalls to enter Genoa City could put Claire in a position where loyalty, love, and trust collided, forcing her to confront choices she might otherwise have avoided. Victor Newman's presence in the narrative loomed as an inevitable catalyst. Known for his relentless pursuit of control and justice, Victor's interactions with the Bacalls would be fraught with tension. His ability to sniff out deception and manipulate circumstances made him a formidable force. If Mitch and Siena moved to Genoa City, they would inevitably intersect with Victor's schemes, either as obstacles or unwitting allies. The delicate dance between Newman power and Bacall strategy promised to be explosive, setting the stage for conflicts that could define the coming months. Adding further complexity, the narrative allowed for secondary characters to influence the Bacall's trajectory. Nick Newman's suspicion, Sharon's investigation, and even Kyle Abbott's domestic concerns intersected in ways that would make a Los Angeles stay increasingly untenable for Mitch and Siena. The pull of Genoa City was not just geographic, it was narrative gravity, drawing them into the orbit of the city's existing power structures. Any delay in relocation would create tension, as events in Los Angeles increasingly demanded resolution in Wisconsin. Thematically, the potential move underscored classic Y&R motifs: the collision of past sins with present consequences, the entanglement of love and betrayal, and the inevitable exposure of secrets. Mitch and Siena's characters embodied these themes, acting as agents of disruption whose presence would force established characters to confront their own vulnerabilities. Sharon's investigation, Claire and Holden's romance, and the Newman family's ongoing grief created a pressure cooker environment in which the Bacall's next move would not just matter, it would dictate the direction of multiple storylines. As autumn deepened and Wisconsin's first snow hinted at the approaching winter, Los Angeles became a transitional stage. The Bacall's actions there, the information they gathered, the connections they nurtured, and the secrets they protected, all pointed to an impending migration to Genoa City. Their arrival promised to transform the city's landscape, both socially and politically. In essence, the narrative was building toward a collision: Los Angeles's intrigue meeting Wisconsin's entrenched power dynamics. Roger Howard's portrayal of Mitch as both protector and manipulator, combined with Tamara Braun's Siena as a charismatic strategist, ensured that their entry into Genoa City would not be subtle. Every interaction with Sharon, Nick, Victor, and other core characters would be layered, charged, and potentially volatile. Their arrival would demand recalibration from everyone, from the Newman family to the Abbott clan, and the ripple effects would likely last for months if not years. Detective Burrow's role would also expand in this migration. Already a figure of ambiguous morality, his presence in Genoa City would blur the line between law enforcement and clandestine operations. If Mitch and Siena moved east, Burrow's investigation could intersect with theirs, forcing alliances and betrayals that would test the loyalties of everyone involved. The power dynamics established in Los Angeles were merely the prelude. The real drama would unfold when the Bacalls stepped onto Genoa City soil. In parallel, the younger generation, Harrison Abbott, Claire Newman, and others, served as the emotional counterbalance to the adult scheming. Their interactions, innocence and vulnerability provided stakes beyond mere business or revenge. For Kyle Abbott, ensuring his son's happiness even amidst chaos became a subplot that intertwined with the Bacall's machinations, reinforcing the idea that Genoa City was a microcosm of larger conflicts. Past secrets, present desires, and future consequences all colliding. As she works through the night, the tension builds. Meanwhile, Kane grows suspicious. His analysts report irregularities in the data, inconsistencies that don't match his expected projections. He frowns, realizing that Phyllis might be catching on. The predator suddenly senses the prey fighting back. By morning, both sides are locked in a silent cyber war. Kane launches countermeasures. Phyllis blocks them. Firewalls rise and crumble. Data streams collide. It's a high-stakes digital showdown that neither can afford to lose. But what neither of them realizes is that their little war is drawing attention. Victor's cybersecurity division detects the anomaly first, tracing it back to both KaneTech and Phyllis's personal IP. Within hours, Newman Enterprises' legal team is on alert, and Jack Abbott receives a confidential memo from his own IT department about suspicious cross-network activity. In short, the whole house of cards is about to collapse. When the inevitable explosion happens, it's not subtle. Victor storms into Jabot, demanding answers from Jack. Jack, blindsided, confronts Phyllis. Kane plays innocent, pretending to be as shocked as anyone. But behind the scenes, he's preparing to make his final move, revealing himself as the victim while positioning himself as the savior. He offers to contain the situation, painting Phyllis as the sole culprit. But Phyllis won't go down quietly. In a stunning twist, she reveals the truth about Project Arabesque, in front of Jack, Victor, and Kane.